Hey, it's your boy NG Gavin. In this video, I want to talk about my first 60 days in Amazon. So I think you're going to find this video interesting because I'm going to just give you, the raw truth about what it takes to be successful on Amazon, and I want to give you a 60-day update. So let's get to my computer and let's get to it. Alright guys, we're back in my Seller Central account. So this is going to be my 60-day update, and I'm just going to give you some insights on what I learned, because some very valuable things that I did learn this month. And hindsight's always a thing. You could go back in time, definitely would have done things differently, but it is what it is. So this is just my day today. I've got sold total order units ordered 4 items. That's today, but I'll show you my month to date. Apply. This is my AU account. So as you can see, not a lot. I mean, I sold 44 items, ordered 327 in sales. So the average item is $8.18. Now, I do want to say that the reason why this amount is so low is because basically what I'm doing is I've got the price like really low to promote sales, to get sales, to stimulate sales. And this is what you got to do when you first start with a new product. Okay, so what I did was, I'll talk about that in a second, but the later part of it, I want to mention some things which is going to be really, if you never heard about the one thing that basically you have to do to make your product successful. I'll talk about it at the last point, so just don't go anywhere, okay, because you're going to learn a lot. So what actually happened with one of my products is I got the bestseller badge, and basically it's the #1 product selling in that category, or in that subcategory, and it did promote a lot of sales. Sometimes I was getting 3 or 4 a day, 4 or 5 a day, and then a drop off. So what I found was every time that your product is not getting sales, you drop rank, or in other words, you go back up in rank. So obviously #1 is the best, and then every time you don't get a sale, it just keeps on going up. So the algorithm is constantly figuring out, which products are getting sales, and if you don't get sales, well, you just keep on dropping off, right? So you have to have all the things in place. Like, you have to have really good images, you have to have really good organic, your keywords, your descriptions. I've thrown in there with some. I started to do some promotions, and I'll show you where that sort of tie in later on. So I did get the bestseller badge, and then I kind of lost the bestseller badge, and I kind of went to the Amazon choice badge. So what I did was I started to get it, I got 1 or 2 reviews on that product, and that really helped. And I'm thinking about reshooting the images for that product, because it's it could be more professional, but because I've seen another seller with some really professional photos, and they can't seem to move up because their product is it's almost double my price for less. So I don't know how they're going to go. So I did get the bestseller badge this month, and I was pretty excited about that. And that does help your sales. What I did was, when you start a product, okay, you have to run PPC. Okay, that's just how it is. You just have to run PPC just to get eyeballs on the product, because it's going to be about, your conversion is going to be at about 10%. That's the standard conversion rate, meaning every 10 people on Amazon that come and see a product, 1 should buy. So it's still a pretty good conversion rate, but you need to get eyeballs to the product, or you're not going to sell anything. All right, and you can see all this in your reports. So start with PPC and just keep on running PPC until you get some sales velocity up. Lower your price. That's exactly what I've been doing in the first 30 days into 60 days. I just lowered my price really low, or very competitive, and I'm running PPC to it because, I want it to be appealing and I want people to buy it. I need those sales to get the sales velocity up, which is going to increase my rank, rank it higher, and then hopefully once and this is what happened with the bestseller badge, I ran PPC to it, I started getting a lot of sales, and then organically it started to pick up, right? People just saw it on page 1 and then they just bought it, all right? Because that's just what people do. They're just lazy, they just buy the first thing if it looks good. And then by stimulating with the lower price and the PPC, running PPC to it, then it'll just rank up organically, and then you should be able to get sales organically as well as PPC. So PPC is just to get your product going, and get it to stick. And hopefully, if it's a good, everything else is in place, like I mentioned before, good images and good description and all that sort of stuff, it should stick. One thing that people were saying is you need reviews to start PPC. You don't need reviews to start PPC because when you have the buy box, like there's no description there to say that you've got feedback on it. So that's a myth that is not true. All the products that I ran have got sales, continue to get sales every day, and some of them don't have PPC. They don't have any feedback. They don't have any reviews and nothing. I started writing PPC to them with no reviews, nothing, and they started getting sales. But that is not true. Even my Amazon USA account, because I've got a couple of products there. I'll show you the stats for that as well. That has got no reviews. There's no reviews on it. I'm getting sales. I'll prove it to you. So that's my stats. I don't know if you can see that. That's my stats for Amazon USA. I've got a couple of products there, and I've got $17 today. I've only got $74 for the month. But these products, none of these products have got any feedback or nothing, because I'm winning the buy box and people are just buying it, right? Because my price is very competitive. Okay, so you may not know this, but you need to run your PPC for at least 6 months before you consider turning it off. All the pro sellers out there, they don't even turn it off. They just leave it run forever. All right, and that's up to you. There's a lot of people, watch a lot of videos on other sellers, and they run it for 6 months, and then they get so much reviews and so many sales, and people love their product that when they turn their PPC off, it doesn't really affect it. But in my opinion, you just have to make that call when you get there. But if you run PPC, it just means you got more real estate. And don't forget, when someone runs your ad, like if you run your ad, like you don't have to. It's going to appear on the listing, but it's not going to. Like, you don't have to pay anything for that impression. You know what I mean? So why, in my opinion, never turn it off. But anyway, I'll get to that bridge when I cross it. You only get paid for when people click it. See, so you're taking up that real estate, and the more real estate that you have, the more money you're going to make. So I don't know why people turn it off. Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, we'll see. Okay, so this is for Amazon Australia. Okay, so this is a huge logistical problem. So Amazon AU, logistics can be a big issue, and I think I mentioned this in my last video. It's still being an issue when you first start. For me, what I did was I found another forwarder, or like another prep center, and basically what they do is they hold my goods. So what I do is I send my goods from China, I go directly to them in their warehouse, and they have got this is my third person that now I'm dealing with. Okay, I've already went through my first guy. He's pretty good, very responsive, and but he's working out of sheds. Like he's working out of what do they call it? Storage shed. Which is, there's nothing wrong with that. I like him, but I just wanted something a bit more professional. So the second guy I went to was just an absolute like, it takes a week to respond. When it just like you can't do business. I can't do business with this guy anymore. So I'm looking at probably going to move my stock to the third guy. You know, if you've got a logistics that's holding your stuff at their warehouse, like if you send them like an email and say, hey, I need this SKU and I need this quantity, I need to send to Amazon. Like they got to get it out out of their warehouse within 48 hours. Like this guy's taken a week to do it. I need to send him an email a week prior to for it to go out, and then you know he'll get around to it. I just can't run it. You can't run a business like that. So you need a really good logistics, like a middleman, and unfortunately with Amazon Australia, it's only limited space. So if you're buying 1,000 units of whatever it is, and they're the size of a shoebox, either put it in your house if you're in Australia, but if you're not in Australia and you're like an international seller, or you're like me and I live in Thailand, you're gonna have to find an intermediary, which is like a warehouse which deals with Amazon people. And here's a tip, all right? Don't find them on Google, because you know they're spending money on advertising. They're going to be more expensive. Find like the best way I've found my third guy, and he's awesome, is just go into Amazon or Amazon Facebook groups or forums and ask other sellers that are in Australia or UK or America or wherever you're at. Ask them, what do you use a prep center and like a intermediary warehouse to store your logistics, store your warehouse, your goods, because you're overstocked. You don't have the room in Amazon Australia. Talk to them and then ask them, how has your experience been? That's the best way. This third guy that I found, he's not on Amazon. He's not running ads on Google. Okay, so that's a huge tip for me, and he's been awesome so far, and he's much cheaper. Okay, another thing too, what I found was the Amazon customer service. I think is fantastic. I've got my responses back within 8 to 24 hours, and even though they give you like a cookie cutter type of response, and it is a real person, the response has been great. So there's issues that I've had. Like I said, I emailed them about getting my storage limit raised after I had some sales. They did that no problem. So as far as I'm concerned, so far, the customer service, I'm talking about for sellers, has been great. Okay, so I've got no beef with that at this point in time. So I am running a feedback software, so this is really critical. You need feedback, especially when you first start, and I'm running Feedback Express. There's a few of them out there. I just found this one, and I'm happy with it so far. And it does support Amazon AU. Okay, so these are the ones that it supports. So feedback is critical. In my opinion, this is a must. It's mandatory. Just get some sort of feedback software, because feedback is really the lifeblood of your product, especially when you're first starting out. You need feedback, and this is going to help this process. It automates the process, and then it just sends emails out on your behalf, and it stimulates them and gets your customer to come back to the site and leave some feedback. So it has worked actually. I've picked up a couple of feedback since I've been running this software, and then that led to the bestseller rank and the choice badge. Now also, I'm eligible. One of this particular product, I got the bestseller badge and the Amazon choice badge. I was eligible for lightning deals, so I don't know if I'm going to run that, because you need to pay like $150 to $400 just to run the lightning deal, and then Amazon prices it like so low. Your profit margin is so low. But I don't know, if you're trying to get your product like to number one, then I would do it. Like my product is like already number one, so I'm not going to do it. But if you're struggling and you qualify for the lightning deal, I would just say, look, you know what, I'm going to bite the bullet and put 100 units at really low cost, and it's going to shoot you to basically to number one. Your sales velocity is going to go straight to the roof, provided that I'm assuming you got a good product. The lightning deals are just you're going to go on the daily deals page. People are going to see it and they're going to go, wow, this is so cheap, I'm going to buy it. It's going to rocket you to basically to number one. I reckon this strategy is better than doing outside launches with these other launch jacking products, these other launch services like There's a bunch of them out there. You guys know what I'm talking about. I think that they're overpriced, and some of the tactics they use are kind of questionable. But the problem with lightning deals is you need to qualify. So you need to have like, I think 5 reviews within the month. You need to have like over 3.5 stars, and you need to be FBA, needs to be Prime. Just have a look on the lightning deals qualifications, and you'll see it. But basically that's what it needs. So you can't run it until you get some decent feedback. Okay, so that's the only drawback with it. All right, but basically it comes down to this: 90% of your success is the product. All right, and I'll get to the last bit in a second, which is absolutely critical. All right, 90% of your success is the product. So if you've got a shit product, and this is the mistake I did when I first started. I was just lazy. I just went, so this is the deal. What everyone does when they first come in, and all the noobs done, this is what I done, is, you're following the same type of regime, or the same type of cookie cutter template that all these other gurus tell you to do, right? You want a product that's light. You want a product that meets this, under a certain price. So it's like an impulse product, like under $20 or over $10. So that's an impulse product. They're going to buy it off the bat. Needs to be light. It needs to be standard size. It can't be oversized. What other things? You can ship it by air. You can do, all this. This is like, you cannot do what everyone else is doing. They're all going after the best sellers. You can't do that because this is what everyone else is doing. And if you do what everyone else is going to do, you're just going to fall in that trap. And that's exactly what I did. I fell in that trap with a couple of my products, and I look back on it and I wish I didn't do that. Which kind of brings me to my next point. And this is so critical. Like, this is going to be your determining factor between your success and your failure with Amazon FBA. And this is a mistake I made, right? So you need to differentiate your product, and you need to build a moat. I'll go in a second exactly what that means. Like, when I first started, I thought, I just want to, this product is making sales. It's black. It's got this color. It's got this feature. It's got this design. I'm just going to get exactly the same product, and I'm just going to try to compete with them. That is absolutely the worst thing you can ever do, because you're going to try to bring a new product that has no feedback, has nothing. It's totally like you're a complete nobody. And then you're trying to go up against another competitor which has huge feedback, is getting sales, already ranked number 1. Like, you compete. What you're going to do is you compete on price. And when you compete on price, you're going to lose, all right? Unless you got deep pockets. You want to differentiate, and you want to build a moat. And the reason why you want to build a moat is you got this moat, and you're in the middle, and you built this water around it, just like a moat, right? So when people want to come into and get to you, or get to your product, they got to get across this moat. And the bigger you make your moat, the harder you make it for these people to come and get into your product and steal your sales. The bigger the moat, the harder it's going to for them to basically steal your sales, or to outrank your product, because you've got a different product. And this is how you do it. And I wish I knew this when I first started, but I'll do another video on this and how I'll elaborate on the moat. But you've got to do the opposite of everyone doing. You've got to go that extra mile, all right? So these are the things that you can do to build a moat that is harder for your other people to try to steal your sales, steal your product. Even steal your product, right? But here's the thing, right? For you to build that moat, first of all, you gotta go above and beyond. So it's gonna be hard for you first to do all the things that you need to do. Then, when other people come and try to, compete against you, like, they're just gonna give up because the moat is too big, right? There's too many obstacles. That's why it's an opportunity to go after products that are hard, because the average seller, the average noob, they're not going to compete. They're going to go after it because it's just too hard for them. They're just going to give up and go after something simple, and they're going to fall into that trap that all noobs fall into, what I fall into. So you can get a patent on it, or you can get like a patent pending, which is on the actual product. You can get brand registry, which protects your brand. All right, so I didn't add that there. You can get brand registry as well, brand registry, because the average seller won't do that. They won't, because they're just lazy. So you got to do all these things which are going to make it very hard. You can bundle it, so you can bundle it the right way. Again, bundling is not very strong. It's not a really big moat. It's just a small moat. It's a temporary moat. Okay, bundling is just a temporary moat, because a seller could just come out and get your same product and bundle it and make it, add another better feature to it, and just blow you out of the water. So bundling is temporary moat. It's not a good moat. Design is a very good moat. It's a very big moat. In other words, if you design the product a different way, it's going to be very hard for them to design the same one, because your product is different to the other product. But with that said, when you come to a different design, you're gonna have to make the actual mold. You're gonna have to make the actual get CAD drawings done, get an engineer to design the product. Then if it's plastic molding, you gotta get the mold done. And so design costs a lot of money, but the average Joe is not going to go and it's not going to spend the money to get that design, and have it look really, really cool. All right. So another thing too is you can get a guide. A guide is just basically a piece of an insert. It could be a booklet. It could just be a pamphlet with pictures on exactly how to use the product, and how to if it's got moving bits to it, how to assemble it, or basically how to actually get the most out of the product. See, most sellers don't do that. They just get the product, they get a brown box, they might make an insert card, and then just send it to Amazon. They don't do a guide. So you can do a guide, a really nice guide that shows them exactly how the benefits of it, how to use the product, blah 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 blah. Even again, the guide and the bundling are just temporary modes. Okay, I mean everyone can do a guide. They just got to spend a little bit more money, but the lazy noob won't do it. Okay, so you're gonna cut out the lazy noob. You want to combine products like together, right? So that are frequently bought together, and then you combine it together, right? So for example, I'll show you for dog leashes. So you can see this one here. See how they've combined a product? They've combined a dog leash and a poop bag. But this is actually not what I'm talking about, all right? This is a temporary, again, it's a temporary moat, because this moat is easy to do, right? It's easy to get a poop bag, and it's easy to get a dog leash and then put them together. All you need to do is get your supplier. I have two different suppliers. If they're made from the same supplier, then they just they just connect the products together and then put them in the box. But if it's from a different supplier, well, then you just get the other factory just to send the leash to the factory that has the dog poop, and just tell them, hey, my product's coming, and put it together in a brown box or a poly bag, right? So it's just a temporary mode. This is not what I'm talking about, combining products, all right? And you'll see here, this one here again, this one's a little bit better because they've added different features onto this dog leash here, and it's kind of an improvement. But again, it's kind of like an add-on. They've added this and added on. It doesn't really look kind of. It's kind of just like a product that they already had, and then they just kind of threw some things onto it. This is not what I'm talking about with combining two products. This is what I'm talking about. Okay. So this dog leash is, see how they've combined the two products and they've incorporated it into the actual design. So what they've taken is the poop bag, and then they've taken the dog leash, and then they've designed a product, and they've incorporated it into the product, or melted both products together to make the one product. And when you do that, it's harder because you need to get a engineer and a designer. You need to get the mold done and everything. Again, this is on a smaller scale, but this is what I'm talking about. Having a product with this like a dog leash, right, which is everyone else has got, but you've got this extra poop bag thing, right, and it just slips into see how it just slips into that. But the thing that makes your product stand out and people that can't copy it is the actual design of it. So can you see how the design of it makes it so you can't copy? So the customer is still getting the same benefits, but the design of it is kind of sets it apart from other sellers, and it just looks way cooler. See how it's just like it's just like one thing, and it's just flawless design, whereas the other thing is just like two things combined. It's like it just doesn't, it's not seamless. Okay, so there's a lot more things. There's like 5 or 6 more critical differentiations which I discovered this week, and without making this video too long, because it'll be too long, so I'll make another video about it. So anyway, so these are the things that I kind of learned this month with Amazon, with my 60-day update, and I hope you got some value. I hope you sort of I'm kind of trying to paint the picture that this is not a get rich quick. This is a long-term business that takes investment, and if you hit that really good product from the beginning, you can don't fall into the traps that I fell into. You can really just have an awesome winning product off the bat if you know these things. These are things that I didn't know when I first started, and when I look back on it 3 to 6 months, I wish I knew what I'm talking about right now, because I wouldn't have made the same cookie cutter thing just like every other noob out there. I would have had more knowledge, and I would have just made my product so much better, and I would have been making way more money right now. So with that said, thanks for watching, guys. Leave a comment if you have any questions. I will do another video on this #1 differentiation, because there's way more things that I discovered this month, and I'll post it soon on my YouTube channel. And there's my update, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you got value, and leave a comment, and I'll get back to you guys soon. Okay, so have a good day, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.